Hello, my friend. Welcome to Flow with Jess. Today, I want to talk about this idea of perfectionism. This was brought on because my husband has been in a back and forth with one of his friends that he actually met on his first day of university. They're both musicians, they both have been in the industry for decades at this point. Both are very talented at what they do, but they're in different lanes. So they each have different perspectives and they don't really like working together. But every once in a while, they come together to work on a track and they always, I don't even want to say fight, but they always struggle to find this balance between completing a project and striving for what is good enough so that the project can come out. But they each come at this problem with two different perspectives and two different points of view. And so it's fascinating to me because I am a perfectionist, as I'm sure I have said many times before, and I'm always concerned about my lighting and my audio, where my plants are, my sign falling down. It's part of this process of being a creative and putting your work out there where there's only so much that you can do to avoid doing the thing. And there's all these sayings about, you know, grow where you are planted and you have everything you need, so just do it. But it's really easy to get in your own head and say, well, I'm not going to press record today because I don't have my plants set up right. I don't have a better mic. I don't have the lighting. I don't have this. I don't. And so when you struggle with perfectionism, there's this ideal that you are striving to attain. And I believe that there's value in that because you don't want to do something unless it's the best of your abilities. But what's challenging is recognizing where your abilities lie on the spectrum and what resources that you have at your disposal and where you are in the specific journey. So, this musician that my husband is working with is very successful and he's very talented and he's as close to perfection as anyone could hope to achieve in this life in his craft. Absolutely perfection. And so when he works on something, he has a very strict standard of what he needs. And in pursuit of that, what gets missed is nuance, authenticity, relatability, and this element of timing where we live in such a fast-paced world that there is so much content being created and posted at any moment. And so putting out something on the internet, it's basically consumed once and then forgotten about. And so if you're putting in like days, weeks, months, years, which has its place and there's value in that. But there's this recognition, I believe, that needs to be had where you're going to keep putting out more and more and more, and things are always going to naturally progress. So in my case, in 3 months, 6 months, If you look at the front page of my channel, it's going to look completely different than it does today. I might have new branding. I might have different thumbnails. I might change the way that I do my titles. I might have different descriptions. There might just be so much new that has happened because that's me evolving through this journey. And I'm doing my best to not get caught up in these little details where it really isn't going to matter in 3 years or 5 years if my camera's tilted a little bit. It's not a big deal. My hope is that what actually gets left and imprinted on this world is the message that is spoken. And really, I just need to allow my voice to come through. And I have to trust that the people that are meant to hear the words that I speak are going to come across this. And I just hope that no one is going to turn off the video because the plants are crooked or any of these other little silly reasons that could potentially get in the way of actually doing the thing that you want to do for fear of judgment or people thinking it's not good enough or comparison. I wanted to tell a little story today, and it's been on my mind since this morning. My husband and my son and we got a family membership at our YMCA. And we've been creating this routine. I think we're on probably week 4. And so we all go together Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And we've been having Jacob go to the child minding area for an hour. And then Josh and we go upstairs and we've been working out. Side note, child minding's a whole thing. It was like good in the beginning, and then it switched and he didn't want us to leave, and so we decided to just take him out, and there's a playroom. So we've just been like, we were switching off who hangs out with him while the other one goes and works out. But then this week we decided to let him go in, and we left, and we were just outside the door, and he would be upset for a few minutes. They would comfort him, and then once he started feeling comfortable, we would go. But like, oh my gosh, I was crying today. It was just, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Separation anxiety is like real, probably more so for me, but anyways, so we were upstairs in the gym, and I do have training as a personal trainer, and I've been working with people on their fitness and yoga goals for a very long time now. And movement has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. And, it's something that I love very dearly, even though I don't really pursue it as a career right now. I am more in the stage of coming home to movement and how it feels in my own body, and just being a living embodiment of what it feels like to have movement practices incorporated into my daily life and what that looks like for me. But every time I go to the gym, I look around and I watch other people, as I always have. Like, I've always been a people watcher. I've always been an observer, and I've always felt like I can, and I don't mean this, I used to think that it was a judgment, but I've started to reframe that, because I think I just observe people, and I think that I can just read I think I can just read where they are in their lives in this capacity, in some capacity that I can't really explain. It just feels like I know things about people in their life, even though I don't know them. And technically, I'm just like judging a book by its cover, but there's just something about people that I just look at them and I just feel like there's this sense of me understanding and knowing them. But anyways, I go to the gym and people are working out and I'm so happy to see so many people there. But I struggle so hard because movement's what I do. Movement is like a huge passion of mine. And I see people doing movements and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, are you trying to do that? Do you just not know? Or, people are doing like good movements, but I'm like, oh, they don't even realize that their form is just like not quite right, or they could be making these shifts in their body so that it could be better, or oh my gosh, they're going to throw out their back. There's been a lot of times where people are doing things and I'm like, you are going to hurt yourself. And it's really hard for me because I don't work there. But I have wanted to go up to so many people and just like help support them to create more efficient and safe movements in their body and to like teach. But I keep getting caught being like, you can't just go up to people and be like, hey, you should think about your knee when you're doing these Bulgarian split squats, and your knee's going in on the descent, and you gotta imagine that there's like a band around your knee and you're pressing them out, and you're gonna start feeling it more, and you're like, I I'm like, you can't do that. Or like people doing good mornings, and I'm like, oh, I just there's some movements that people do, and it it's like, wow, I want to help you, I want to support you so much, but it feels like I can't. And it's been a really interesting thing to experience because there is it's because I want to help. And it feels like I can't. It feels like I have like chains on of like, well, you don't work here, or nobody's asking for unsolicited advice. So you just have to let people do what they're doing. And it's reminding me of when I get the opportunity to maybe talk spiritual philosophies, and the people that are just unable to receive the messages that are coming through me, it feels like I'm giving unsolicited advice, or there's just zero interest in it whatsoever. And I've had to learn that there's times where even though you want to say something that you think is going to help someone, it may not be your place. But then there's times where you also have to realize that maybe a message is for someone and you do get an opportunity to kind of insert yourself in their world and say something. And I get more comfortable with that as I get more experience in a specific like location. But we're still new to this gym. We're still new to this gym. I haven't made friends with anyone there, and I'm just in this state of observing and feeling like, oh my goodness, like I want to help some people do some things, but it just doesn't feel like the time. But I'm so grateful that there are areas of my life where I do get to speak wisdom and philosophy, and there are people listening and gaining insights from what I have to say, and that feels really, really good. And not that I want to be validated in that, but it's more of just like um, a moment of feeling proud that I just want to share with you, because you are the ones that are listening, and you are the ones that in this area of my life have accepted me into your homes and into your minds, and you have allowed me to speak what comes through me. And for that, I am just so grateful. I woke up today and I this channel hit 500 subscribers. Oh my gosh. It is an honor and a blessing, and I feel so lucky. And I am really trying my best to show up a little bit more because I took a bit of a break and I'm still trying to find myself every day is different, but I'm trying to connect with my practices and follow the path that I know feels good. And this is one of those areas of my life, sitting down and recording these videos that feels good. It feels right. And I want to continue doing it. So if you are here, thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy. It really means the world to me. And I'm so grateful that you are a part of this community that we are growing. And again, so thankful. All right. With that, my friends, please take good care of yourself. Drink lots of water, do some breath work, and I will see you soon.